When no station in Merrimack Valley was producing programming for Hispanic and Latino listeners, Costa Communications answered the call, with not one, but two radio stations addressing the concerns and musical tastes of the Spanish-speaking community and giving them a voice like never before in this culturally rich area.
The Hispanic market is extremely viable for the fact being that it happens to be one of the, this is one of the New England markets, or should I say emerging New England markets at this stage of the game.
Importante somos para la comunidad por una sencilla razón. La comunidad se siente parte de la estación. Nosotros somos parte de la comunidad y por tanto ellos sienten que estamos junto con ellos. Sin la estación la gente estuviese triste. La música, los programas y todo hace posible que ellos sean parte de esa comunidad y nosotros seamos parte de ellos.
When other stations ignored the fast-growing Latino population, Costa Communications embraced them. And as a result, the community embraced the stations right back.
I love Power 800.
For the last 20 years, WNNW Radio's Tropical Music and Impacto, WCEC Spanish Talk, have been the sound of hope, inspiration, joy, and news for the area's largest community of Spanish-speaking people. And that's not all. With the addition of the legendary WCCM radio dedicated to English-speaking listeners, this broadcast group is doing great things for both Spanish-speaking and English-speaking listeners throughout the greater Boston and Merrimack Valley.
The impact of WCCM over the years, Costa Eagle, of course, is owned, and now we're celebrating our 10th anniversary. It goes way back. We're one of the fortunate ones. You know, local radio in most communities is no more, but we're fortunate to have a good base of good local listeners.
It is aware of the local needs of the community. It is aware of the people in the community, and it never forgets that.
Everyone in the Merrimack Valley knows WCCM, listens to WCCM to learn about local information, to learn about local businesses, to understand what's going on in their backyard.
But how did it all start? In 1987, record producer Pat Costa had a chance encounter with the then unknown boy band called the New Kids on the Block.
We were very fortunate enough to record their very first album here in my studio in 1987. And from there, that sort of gave us the kickoff of getting into the radio business. That gave me the funds that I needed, you know, to buy my first radio station.
A year later, his newly formed family business called Costa Communications purchased WNNW.
We started with this motivation program, which was a unique idea at the time. But unfortunately, it didn't catch on. People didn't know what motivation was.
It was then that good friend and Latin radio producer Enrique Matos came to Costa with the suggestion of doing a Hispanic show on the weekends.
I came with the idea, I say, I think we can do something. I think the city of Lawrence and the Merrimack Valley will support a radio station in Spanish, and this will be the great time to go ahead and do it.
We were making more money on the weekends than we were during the week, so a little light went off in my head.
More Spanish-speaking producers and on-air talent were brought in to round out the new Hispanic programming.
Hey, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo estamos? Estamos aquí en la N1110.
In 1990, listeners in the largely Hispanic community fell in love with the format and for the first time had a station to call their own.
Me encanta Power 800.
Lawrence is known as the Hispanic city of New England, which means there are more Hispanic people living in Lawrence than any other community in New England. In a 6.5 square mile area, there's over 40,000 Hispanics living. 1 out of every 10 Hispanics in Massachusetts lives in Lawrence.
By 1995, the new Spanish format had taken off to the delight of listeners throughout the region. Local politicians took notice too, like State Rep William Lantigua.
This is the communication outlet for the whole Merrimack Valley, so I don't know where we'll be without having Power 800 broadcasting to the whole Merrimack Valley and beyond.
Even the local mayors agree. Costa Eagle has meant a lot to their respective communities over the last 20 years.
I know that my constituency is listening to this station because we get calls all the time about things that are on the station, things that are coming up on the station. Why aren't you on the station more yourself?
Power 800 has reached out to the many, many members of the Latino community we have in Haverhill, bringing them news and events from throughout the Merrimack Valley and from here in Haverhill.
Costa Broadcasting has been a major part of this community, serving the people and the needs of this community for over 20 years, and I congratulate them.
It was during the early years that the Eagle Tribune newspaper approached Costa with a proposal to join forces, and together they became Costa Eagle Radio Ventures Limited and are forging ahead into the future.
We are extremely pleased with our partnership with Costa Eagle Radio. The update that we're doing currently on Power 800 with Yadira in the morning is key to us developing readership in the Merrimack Valley and also connecting with the Hispanic population.
But in the beginning, connecting with the Hispanic community wasn't that easy. The problem was WNNW only had a license to broadcast during daytime hours.
We knew that if we wanted to really continue here, we needed a 24-hour signal.
So they bought 24-hour station WHAV 1490 AM in Haverhill, where TV icon Tom Bergeron got his start. Costa then changed the format of that station to Spanish news and talk to inform listeners with the news they needed. Then, in 1998, Costa got a call that WCCM, another station in the area, was up for sale. That station was owned by broadcast legend Kurt Gowdy.
They wanted to know what I was going to do, what was my immediate plans, was I going to keep the staff, was I going to change the format, boom, everything, like I was like, drilling, because I think if I would have said the wrong thing, they weren't going to sell me the station. But fortunately, I must have said everything right. I was with them for 2 hours. After that, Mr. Gowdy called for his car. We all got in the car, went to his attorney's office, drew up the deal, then a handshake, done.
Adding the third radio station to his portfolio. But in 2000, Mega Broadcasting, a large Spanish competitor, came into the area, giving Costa his first taste of serious competition. In 2003, it was decided that in order to survive, major changes would have to be made. Switching the formats of his three stations, he changed WCCM 800 AM, which has the strongest signal in the group, from English-speaking to Spanish music.
Two years later, Mega went out of business. So we sort of won that rivalry, if you will. And we sort of take pride. I mean, to be honest with you, I'm sort of the captain of a ship. And I have to thank my crew, because if my crew didn't, rise to the occasion, the ship wouldn't be going anywhere.
Me encanta mi comunidad y el trabajo que hago. I love my community and the work that I do.
Program Director Johnny McKenzie says it's the listeners who deserve the credit.
Se siente bien. La gente le gusta lo que hacemos. Prefieren la estación y lo demuestran las encuestas, el rating que tenemos.
Local involvement has also been the key to the station's success. Costa Eagle stations are always involved with fundraising events, including the annual Christmas party for the underprivileged children of Lawrence, and many others. And now the official Spanish broadcast station north of Boston for the Boston Red Sox. Just one more reason they're at the top of their game.
In Boston, presently, we are the #1 station in the Boston Metro, which, by the way, is the 8th largest radio market in the country. We're #1 with Hispanic listeners.
As for the future of Costa Eagle Broadcasting,
I always try to look to tomorrow. I never try to look to yesterday, because yesterday's over. So I always hope that tomorrow brings a better future, not only for me, but for my people. And we'll have to see what tomorrow brings. Estoy volviendo bajito.